Addictions and the twin flame journey. So if you're watching this video, then perhaps you or your twin flame are experiencing an addiction. And what is an addiction? Well, we often know that to be, let's say if someone's addicted to drugs or alcohol, sex, it could be a wide variety of things that people are addicted to. And this does crop up in twin flame unions or people that are new to the twin flame journey. So I would like to share a little bit about my experience and some insights and what I did to heal, and also the core reason for addictions and how you can heal it for yourself. And so I woke up to the twin flame journey in 2016. I had a false twin flame experience, and I started, realizing all of these things. I looked up on Google about twin flames. Everything was new, had my spiritual awakening, and I met Jeff and Shalia with Twin Flames Universe, my spiritual teachers. And so when I started to focus on my inner healing work to manifest my union, I started noticing a lot of things in my consciousness that I didn't know were there, right? And so just a little bit of backstory. So I never had a drug addiction, and I never had an alcoholic addiction, but I did have addictions in other ways. And the way that manifested for me, probably two of the most, what would I say, like common addictions, or what it was for me was like TV. I watched a ton of TV, and I know that, I just watched a ton of TV. So what I had like a DVR, I think is what they call it. And I would come home and I had recorded basically as many TV reality shows as I could. And I would sit after work and I would just watch marathons of TV shows. And at the time when I was doing it, I didn't realize what was happening. I just thought, well, this is normal. This is what people do. You go home, you watch marathons, you watch a lot of TV. And that was just, I basically was living life vicariously through these people on the TV shows, I guess because I wasn't happy with my life. And another addiction I had was food or junk food, sugary foods like sodas, candies, Little Debbie snacks, pizzas, like high carb sugar foods, anything of that sort of nature where I could get like, I think they call it like I think it affects your serotonin or your dopamine. I'm probably not saying this correctly, but you know that feeling that you get when you eat sugar, or you get a high, right? An instant high. And so I was always eating junk food. I watched a lot of TV, basically disconnected from life. I disconnected from myself and to engage in these habits. And I didn't know, once again, that these were addictions. I just thought, this is just what people do. This is how I grew up. This is what I see other people around me doing. And this is just normal everyday life, okay? So fast forward, I'm on my spiritual journey, and I started to notice that, well, first off, let me say too, like on the spiritual journey, it requires you to do the inner healing work. And with the inner healing work, that means that you look at your, shadow self is what most people call it. And so looking at your shadow self means you look at all of your patterns, anything that's out of alignment with love. You have to look in those places, whatever you're carrying in your consciousness. And that can be very uncomfortable to do, okay? So as I was doing this, I started noticing how when I felt resistant to healing an upset, or I felt just resistant in general to being present with myself, I would want to turn on a TV show, or I would want to go get a snack, or go to the ice cream shop and get an ice cream, or go to Starbucks and get a brownie or get a Starbucks. Oh, that was another one of my addictions, Starbucks. Oh my God, I had to have a Starbucks coffee like every day. I had to get up, get that coffee. That was my shindig, my thing that I had to do, right? Because it was a sugar in the coffee. So anyways, yeah, I started noticing that I was avoiding myself by, doing these activities. And it started to dawn on me, okay, so this thing that I've always thought was so normal, there's actually a problem here. I'm trying to avoid myself. And as I would look within and see what I was avoiding and I'd heal through it, I actually started to notice, and now this isn't an overnight thing. This is a process, okay, of it's a healing process. So it's not going to be something that you change in a weekend. It might not even change for a few months. It might not change for a year or 2 years or however long, right? Depending on what the thing is and your process of healing, okay? So as I was healing through this, I started to notice that as I actually faced myself, then I started to not be so interested in TV. I still enjoyed watching it and things like that, but there was like I was fulfilling something inside of me that I was using that external thing to fulfill, right? And it was the same way with the sweets, and that was a bit more of a stickier one for me because letting go of sugar, I had to be very diligent. And, it was basically me seeking joy or seeking a high, like seeking some form of happiness, which is what I was getting from eating all the sugar or all of the carbohydrates. And so, yeah, long story short, as I continued focusing on my healing and giving myself what it was that I was needing by applying the mirror exercise, those addictions began to fall away, right? And they just kind of fell away from my reality. And so going into you and maybe what you might be experiencing on your journey is, let's say if there's an addiction to, all addictions are the same. It doesn't matter if it's food, TV, alcohol, drugs, you name it. It can be literally anything. It can be addictions to people, right? Needing to constantly be around people, like codependency. Addictions come in all forms. And so let's say if your twin flame or you're experiencing addictions in your union, well, know that the core reason for addictions is to get away from oneself. And that's oftentimes, what drugs and alcohol, even sugar, all of these, like I said, with TV, I was a way for me to escape myself, escape my reality. So if you are experiencing an addiction, or if you are experiencing your twin flame having an addiction, then know that this is the core reason for that. And of course, there can be many other things involved, but it's basically uncomfortable to actually be present with oneself and feel your feelings of what's there. And the way to heal that is with the mirror exercise as taught in Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover by Jeff and Shalia. This book contains the mirror exercise, and this is how I healed, my addictions, and other people that I know have done the same. And so you can apply this to your life and to your union, and know that it's a process. It requires you to have compassion and patience for yourself and your twin flame, and know that it is possible to heal. You're not stuck in it. And also too, it's not just the spiritual work. You want to claim your external support. So in specifically speaking, if there is drugs and alcohol, things like that, like claim your external support, like seek those. I don't know, like I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm not a professional in this stuff, but like claim medical support, physical support, like doctors, go out and get your support in addition to doing your spiritual work. And know that as you do this and you claim your support and you love yourself, that you will transcend anything it is that you're experiencing in your union. So I hope I clarified everything perfectly. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.